Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked, blissed. Dr. Shealy, are you blissed?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Did you overdo it too? We're broadcasting 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. Trevor's engineering the broadcast. Dr. Norman Shealy is with us. There's a link to all of your instructors on the website, usaprepares.com, usaprepares.com. And we've got a couple listen lines if you'd like to try them and see how well they work. I'd love to know about it. Let me give you those numbers, 605-562-4080. 605-562-4080 and 605-562-7727. 605-562-7727. Now, there's a possibility that we may have been overloading the listen line. So if one doesn't work, switch to the other one, okay? We've gotten reports of disconnects and so forth, but I'd love to know what your reaction is. So if you could send me an email, Vincent@usaprepares.com. I'd love to know how well the listen lines are working for you. Dr. Norman Shealy, I was talking with our engineer, Trevor, just before the broadcast started, and I asked him if he shaved in front of the sink or in the shower. And I've been shaving in the shower for probably 40 or more years. And let me explain how I do this. I just take the soap that I'm going to wash with, and once it's wet, I put it on my face, and I rub the bar directly on my face. And so now I have a soapy face, and I don't have to have a mirror to do this. I can find my face, and I just rub it. Well, the reason I say this is because we men have been taught that we have to shave in front of a mirror. And we've also been taught that we have to use this stuff that either gets propelled out of a can that comes out as a foam, or we use a shaving brush with shaving soap. And the difference is if we shave in front of the sink and the mirror, do we wash our face? Do we wash the soap off our face, or do we wash that foamy shaving cream off our face the way we would if we were in the shower? So what happens with me is I take the soap, I rub it right on my face, and then I wet the razor and I shave. And then I periodically sharpen the razor in the shower by taking that same soap, putting it in the palm of my hand, and rubbing the razor backward across the flesh of my thumb area in my palm of my hand, and that's like stropping the razor, and it resharpens it. And I've been using the same handful of razors that I bought in the 1980s, and they last, a year or more each, easily a year or more. The trick is you have to rinse them out as soon as you're done and let them dry. So I have them blade facing down in that shower rack hanging from the shower head pipe, and they dry. And that's where we keep the soap, and the soap lasts longer because when it dries out, you can probably get 3, 4, 5 times the use of the soap as if it sits wet, on a shelf or on the floor of a shower or tub. Anyway, that's what I do. And here's my question for mentioning this whole process. Because I do that, I think my skin is a little softer than for those who shave in front of a mirror, either with foam or shaving soap, and who just wipe the soap off their face rather than wash the soap off their face, as I do in the shower. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, that's interesting. I've shaved in the shower, but I have a mirror, hanging on the wall. And I do rinse my face well. And actually, sometimes I shave sitting in the hot tub of water.
Right.
And I really slosh my face with 2 hands full of water to rinse it off. But I don't know.
The reason I mention this is I think that when we shave, we nick our faces and we cause abrasions on our face that we don't even know about. And little tiny amounts of soap stay on the pores of our face. And, they stay there for all day, unless we wash them off. And if you saw those commercials back in the 1960s about shaving with the, that foam can, you just wipe your face. You don't wash your face. And then it goes farther than that. When I worked back in the 1970s, I met a man who was an employee of the Menon Company, and Menon made shaving creams, shaving soaps, something called a skin bracer aftershave. And I learned something really interesting. They had this byproduct of one of the other products, one of their main products that they made, and they didn't know what to do with it. And one of the marketing guys or one of the employees said, I got it. Well, hey, here's what we'll do. We'll add some color to this stuff, and we'll put it in a bottle, and we'll sell it as a skin bracer, like an aftershave. So they had a waste product, something that they didn't know what to do with. They turned it into something they could sell and distribute this as a skin bracer. So now I'm thinking, all right, so we shave, we have little bits of soap on our face because all we do is wipe that shaving cream off. And then what we do is we apply this skin bracer, which has a dye in it and it has a fragrance in it. And we think we're doing really good stuff for our face, and we splash it on, and then it stays there all day, unless, until we wash it off. So are we doing, and the reason I'm saying this is because Hollywood is so concerned with the way they look. I'm wondering if we're doing damage to our skin by just the way we have been programmed to shave.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know the answer to that. Mm-hmm. It's a fascinating concept, and of course, I just think I've always done a heavy slosh of water on my face to rinse it off. Mm-hmm. I don't, just stop shaving. And actually, by the way, I'm glad you brought it up, however, because the evidence is quite striking to me that an electric razor is not good for your brain. And I gave up electric razors, 40 years ago, mm-hmm. because the evidence is that it's a very high milligauss applied right on your skull. And we know that the brain does not like it. The immune system does not like it. And so I don't recommend electric shavers. I think that's more important for your overall health.
Well, there's only 2 kinds of electric shavers that I can think of. One is powered by a motor that spins in bearings, so just with a shaft, and it drives a mechanism that causes the rotary heads to cut. The other is a vibrating type mechanism, and both of them operate with 60 cycle AC power. And both of them have magnetic effects, exactly what you're talking about. So I can't imagine either one of them being good. I mean, holding an electric motor in a plastic box against, even in your hands and against your face and very close, your jaw and very, very close to your brain. You're right. It doesn't make much sense to me either. So for me, I use a double-edged razor. I don't use one that has, more blades than that. That seems to be plenty for me. And they do last a long time if you wash them out and you let them dry, and if you sharpen them with soap against the palm of your hand. Class, I'd love to know if you try that. If you decide you're going to shave in the shower the way I have been for decades, I'd like to know if you find the same results. And the best razor that I've found is made by Schick, and it's a very simple razor. It's a little more expensive. You don't get 10 of them for $1. They might be 2 for $2.50, but they will last, well, at least they last me well over a year each, the way I do it. So I'd love to know if that works for you. But, and I do rinse my face off very, very, very well. And that's another thing, Dr. Shealy. I was thinking about toothpaste. And, so, as I was brushing my teeth today, I rinse at least 8 times. And what I found out is, the first time I rinse, toothpaste comes out. Second time I rinse, less toothpaste comes out. The 5th time I rinse, I'm still getting foam and toothpaste coming out. At the 8th time, it starts to really diminish. But how many of us are rinsing our mouths 8 times after we brush our teeth to get whatever? Many of us use fluoride toothpaste. Well, many of us don't also, and many of us don't. But for those who are using fluoride toothpaste, aren't we in a hurry? Don't we have to get to that, job number 1, job number 2, or job number 3 that we might have? And do we rinse our mouths out well? And does that cause Alzheimer's or symptoms of Alzheimer's?
Well, I think it can for sure, and it does even more than that. It truly poisons your immune system, among other things. It's a poison.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about fluoride. Yeah. So then the next thing, Dr. Shealy, is what do we do if we have, let's say we're 40, 50, 60 years old and, or more, and we've been using toothpaste, the same, the Crest, the Pepsodent, the other brands that are complete with fluoride. What do we do to get that out of our system, or can't we? Let's talk about that when we get back after these few short commercial announcements. Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, normshealy.com. normshealy.com. We'll be right back. How many of you think the government will take care of you after a disaster? How many of you think the government took care of you after the Joplin tornado, or Hurricane Sandy, or Hurricane Katrina? The truth is that the government's never done a good job of taking care of disaster victims. And frankly, I'm not going to trust the government with my life. And if you're like we are, and you want to protect and defend yourself from whatever the future brings, we'll show you how at the Get Prepared Expo, Saturday and Sunday, March 28 and 29 at the Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. That's getpreparedexpo.com. I'm Vincent Finelli, host of the Get Prepared Expo. Are you the only one in your family who thinks about preparedness, storing water, storing food, learning about first aid, canning, dehydration, and growing a high-yield garden? Well, you're not alone. There'll be thousands of people just like you at the Get Prepared Expo. One-day weekend tickets, $8 online, $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28 and 29, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. That's GetPreparedExpo.com.
Making the right decisions is a challenge to investors. Are we going to see economic growth, slide into a recession, or at worst, depression? Hi, Ted Anderson from Midas Resources. We all know when a company acts irresponsibly, divesting ourselves in a move towards safety is prudent. When the market becomes volatile, U.S. Treasuries are a safe haven. But what do you do when the U.S. government overextends itself and spends beyond its means? Many investors are turning toward gold as a common-sense alternative to traditional paper investments. Midas Resources has put together a powerful book titled 10 Reasons to Own Gold, discussing costs, benefits, risks, featuring full-color illustrations, weights, and measures. The book is free and can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. Paper investments are dwarfed by gold's 6,000-year history. Discover how gold may be right for you and your IRA by calling 800-686-2237. Whether buying or it's time for you to sell, the book is free. Call 800-686-2237.
What good is a big Berkey water filter? We get that question a lot here at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And in a word, the answer is protection. Protection from water main breaks, E. coli contamination, environmental chemical spills, pesticide runoff, chlorine taste and smell, and all forms of fluoride. Plus, Big Berkey water filters are the original gravity water filter system and most trusted on the market for a reason. Tested by multiple independent NSF EPA certified labs, they are the gold standard in water purification. At only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters can last for 5 to 10 years. That means big savings. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get a Big Berkey today at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit our website or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Here is what one doctor has to say about Extendovite.
I would like to thank you, Don, for making my job so much easier, because your products just make it so simple, right? To fool around with a lot of exotic things that don't work, we can just put them on your product and things start to work almost right away. I've had dozens of patients with heart problems who have corrected them, and what it's doing, there's so much garlic in there that has a yeast-killing effect. The yeast is a big problem in the gut, pushes the liver hard. It also has metal chelating effect, and most of the other herbs in there I find that strengthen the arteries. They help to neutralize free radicals. Your remedy close to what we do in our program as you can get as far as one supplement goes. It's working on the gut, it's working on the liver, it's working on the arteries. What more can you ask for?
To get your Extendovite, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Dr. Norman Shealy's with us, and Dr. Shealy, I've been thinking about toothpaste and how we've been using it for years and years and years. Most of us have been using it all of our lives, and most of the toothpaste manufactured by the main well-recognized manufacturers like Crest and so forth have added fluoride to the toothpaste for many years. If we get it in our mouths, I don't see any way that we can completely remove fluoride from our mouths. I mean, no matter how many times we rinse, if that fluoride enters our bodies, is there a way to get it out?
Well, I think so. Chelation.
Okay. Can you tell us how chelation, how does chelation work?
I'm sorry?
Can you tell us how chelation works? What do we do?
Well, there are two ways of doing chelation. There is intravenous chelation, which for people with severe coronary artery disease may be useful. There are oral preparations of chelation that can work. Dr. Gary Gordon, Garry Gordon, has a product, an oral chelation that is good. I think all human beings who have been exposed to the world, no matter where they live practically, should at sometime between age 50 and 60 have what's called a provocative chelation. They give you just a gram or two, and you measure the output in your urine of all the toxic minerals. And it's worth doing. As someone who has, lived off and away from, I've lived 60 years away from cities on farms with natural products. And yet I had a provocative chelation a month ago, and I was shocked to find that I had a lot of lead, among other things. No aluminum, interestingly, but I had 4 toxic minerals that are high. I'm going to go on oral chelation for 6 months, probably.
Dr. Shealy, there's an area north of where we live here in Missouri, north of our farm, and it's called Lead Mine. And there was a lot of lead mining that went on during World War II. So this area of Missouri, well, maybe 70 miles north of here, where we are, is an area where there's a high concentration of lead in the ground. So maybe that lead is spread, and maybe the water, the underground aquifers are connected all the way up, to where a lead mine is and where this mining has gone on, and maybe we have polluted, more than we thought. So, that seems to make some sense. Also, when we used to use copper plumbing in homes, first we used lead plumbing, and then we used iron galvanized, and then we found out that copper had a lower coefficient of friction, so the water would flow more easily through copper plumbing than galvanized plumbing with threaded connections. So we soldered those copper pipes together with lead solder, and the lead would be dissolved into the water when water was, acidic. So we've been killing ourselves for years thinking that everything's okay. And I grew up with copper plumbing. I did. And they soldered it with 50-50 solder, which is, or actually even more than that, more lead than 50%. So that small connection of solder that the water would constantly be against, the water sitting in the pipes all night long, all day long until we turned off those faucets on, the water had plenty of time to contact the lead in the plumbing to poison us. So it doesn't seem to make, it doesn't surprise me that we would have lead in our systems. And then that's just our water supply. What about the water supply that's used in the cooking of the food and the processing of the food by, the Hunt's Company and Campbell Soup and Progresso Soup and, whatever else we buy from the grocery store? Do they have lead in their water supplies? And the answer is probably yes. Let's talk more about, Dr. Shealy, when we come back, can we talk about the effects of lead on the body?
Sure.
This ought to be no fun at all. No fun at all learning about how much damage we've done to our bodies with lead. Dr. Norman Shealy, brain surgeon, Surgeon of the Year. We'll be right back. I was just looking at the Get Prepared Expo schedule. 10 o'clock, Saturday morning. Aaron Dakins, emergency hydration. Dr. Judy Wood, where did the towers go? Evidence of free energy-directed technology on 9/11. Dr. Norman Shealy, lower your blood pressure, increase your endurance. Judy Dollarheight, water filtration at home and on the go. John Moore, violent climate change, should you relocate? Then at 11 o'clock, Mike Ma, how to negotiate, bribe, and barter for your life. Tony Pache, long-term food storage plans for your survival. Matt Stein, when disaster strikes. Roy Birdsong, how cell phones work. Get a cell phone plan for $8 a month. Harry Cooper, history's big lies. Hitler and his wife did escape to Argentina. Glenn Meter, survival still and water distillation during an emergency. And Stormin' Norman Cantwell, doing the unthinkable to defend your life. And that's just 2 hours. We have 13 more to go. The last weekend in March. Tickets just $8 online at getpreparedexpo.com. That's getpreparedexpo.com.
The freeze-dry guy, leader in the preparedness industry for 44 years, is closing his California warehouse. Don't miss out on this huge warehouse sale and receive discounts from 30 to 40% off on the finest Mountain House and Packaway brand freeze-dried and dehydrated foods for long-term food storage or even everyday use. Plus deep discounts on all in-stock survival gear. The Freeze-Dry Guy is offering a wide selection of freeze-dried foods in number 10 cans and even individually packaged entrees. Remember, meats, vegetables, fruits, and long-range patrol rations are the main components for any long-term food storage. This is limited to stock on hand, so hurry and call 866-404-3663 or 530-798-4414. Remember, as always, free shipping to the lower 48 states. So hurry up and call 866-404-3663 or 530-798-4414. Remember, this is limited to stock on hand. The Freeze-Dry Guy is your choice for survival food in an uncertain world.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MyTV. 1-855-905-MyTV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MyTV. 1-855-905-MyTV.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right, that's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Dr. Norman Shealy's with us, and we've been talking about toothpaste with fluoride in it, and we've been talking about chelation therapy, and we've been talking about lead in the pipes. Dr. Shealy, what do we do about it? And what problems does lead cause, and what do we do to get it out of our systems?
Well, the problems are almost every symptom in the book, ranging from headache to depression, irritability, fatigue, insomnia, difficulty learning, concentrating, aggressive behavior, stomach pain, constipation, vomiting, nausea, weight loss, hearing loss, anemia, slowed growth, seizures, coma, staggering walk, kidney damage, loss of appetite, reduced loss of sensation, in the skin, muscle weakness. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, not too bad.
Dr. Shealy, that sounds like what's wrong with America.
That's right. That's right. That covers almost every symptom that takes a patient to a physician, and it's not looked at.
Yeah. Now, okay, let's talk about how some of this has happened in addition to the lead plumbing. Of course, but for many, many decades, we had it in our gas. That's exactly where I was going. They used tetraethyl lead, and it would say on the side of the pumps, tetraethyl lead. They used to call it ethyl gasoline. They'd say it was called high test, premium. And they added extra lead to reduce something called pinging or knocking of the engine. It would prevent pinging or knocking. And it was cheap. Lead was cheap, so they could just add it to gasoline. And then it was burned in the combustion chamber of your engine and spewed out into the air. And if you were in a traffic jam, you were getting, more than your daily requirement of lead, right? Yeah, if you were behind a bus, behind a truck, we're all getting lead poisoning just being in our automobiles. And then if you live near a road, the lead would ultimately fall down, wash down by rain into the water supply, and we all got it. So you're right, Dr. Shealy. So what do we do?
Well, again, I honestly believe that people who have symptoms that are not going to be diagnosed or don't get treated at all or don't respond to treatment should have a provocative chelation, where they take this oral preparation and then collect the urine, and a doctor's data lab in Chicago is the one which I've used. They've been around for a long, long time and are quite reliable, to find out what the concentration of toxic stuff in your body is. You know, the other one that I found, and I don't know where this came in my body, I had an excess of barium. I've never drunk barium in my life. I don't know where it came from.
Wow. And so, all right, so what would the effects of barium be on the body?
Well, it's, you know, when you have a certain level that's getting to the cells, it's just toxic. Toxic means literally it can cause any symptom. And we all vary with which one will be effective in us or dominant in us, depending upon our general genetic and overall health, etc. So that I have no symptoms that I'm aware of from having a very high level of barium and lead, and heaven only knows. I mean, you know, it's because our atmosphere, our water, our soil is contaminated.
Mm-hmm. You know, it'd be interesting to know, Dr. Shealy, you've spent so many years away from the city environment where those trucks and buses and those smokestacks and the heating systems and all that contribute to increased air pollution, increased toxins in the air. It'd be interesting to find out how someone who's been on the planet as many days as you, who lives in the city, would compare with that same test. Wouldn't that be interesting? Did the person who read those results share with you how you compared to the norm?
No.
Or
well, they only go according to what they call as normal.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just looked up barium because I hadn't looked at this. It's available. Guess what? In our drinking water.
Mm-hmm.
It's used in making a wide variety of electronic components, metal alloys, bleaches, dyes, fireworks. Ah, there's mine. Ceramics and glass. Well drilling. When they drill the well in your backyard, it is directly released into the ground. Interesting.
We had Richard Linebaugh on with us a few days ago, and we were talking about water well drilling. And he's going to be with us at the expo at the end of this month in Lebanon, Missouri. He's going to be doing a seminar on what's in the water wells, how to avoid toxic wells, and so forth. And he was sharing with me a story, both on and off air. And one of these stories was that there's a well that was contaminated by insecticide. And this well was working just fine. And there was an orchard that was planted. And the spraying of the orchard with insecticides washed down by the rain ended up in the aquifer and polluted the well. And people were drinking it for years. And they didn't know it. And all of a sudden, you know, that water that they thought was great, that had been great, it wasn't great anymore. And, you know, you don't find out about this on day one. So typically, the wells get polluted through rainwater or through earthquakes or shifts in the soil. Trains going by. You know, there are plenty of wells adjacent to railroad tracks. There are plenty of wells adjacent to roadways where these big 18-wheelers go thumping down the road. They hit a crack in the road and they just thump and the ground shakes, and over time fractures occur. And pollutants get washed down by the rain. The crankcase drippings, the leaking of the tractor trailers, the leaking of the rail cars, and the everything else that's in the air, it gets washed down by the rain. Gravity brings it down lower and lower and lower. Ultimately hits our water supply, and we just drink it up. And that's one of the reasons why we've said that we are advocates of water filtration systems at the point of use for us in our homes. And that's why we're going to have them at the Get Prepared Expo. Because you can test your water. You can test it today and you could test it tomorrow. But next week, something might happen like what we talked about with Richard Linebaugh. Your well can be polluted, or the municipal water supply can be polluted. Dr. Shealy, have you heard of cross-connecting with the sewage treatment plants and the water, the potable water systems that's supplied to municipalities? Have you heard of that through a heavy rainstorm? Right. What do you suggest we do about that?
Well, of course, I'm a big believer that city water is toxic no matter where it comes from, as long as they put fluoride and chlorine in it. Yeah. So I don't want to live in a city. If I did, I would certainly have a superb filter. Okay. Well, Dr. Shealy, let me ask you this. As a medical doctor, as someone who has seen lots of examples firsthand, you've touched firsthand examples of what not to do, whatever that might be. How important would you say getting out of the city, any city, and moving to the countryside is based on your firsthand experience? About 1,000%. I wouldn't even want to live in little old Podunk, Pleasant Hope. 614 people.
Yep. And I live in a little hamlet I live outside the hamlet of where there's 100 people. Dr. Shealy, I used to have a job, and you did too, many, many years ago. And I remember looking out the multi-story building, looking down on the city, saying, wow, it's kind of fuzzy, the air is kind of thick. Are those clouds? Are we in the clouds? And we weren't that high, less than 10 stories. Why is it so fuzzy? Why is the air so thick? And boy, there sure are a lot of people here. And where does, all these people in all these buildings, flush the toilet many times a day. Where does that all go? And where does the water come from that we're drinking? And I put all that together and said, I don't think this is a good thing. I don't think this is a good place to be. And most of us have our heads down. We don't look up. We don't see the pollution. And if you fly into, San Jose or any other city, as you approach in an airplane, you'll see what looks like a bowl, a brown cloud over the city. And you'll realize that that's not a normal cloud. That is literally air pollution being trapped, and everybody's sucking it in 24 hours a day who lives there.
I remember probably at least 35 years ago an article somewhere that said the last clean air measurable in the United States was in Flagstaff, Arizona. And that was at least 35 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's probably not the case anymore.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it hasn't been the case for 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, then that brings to mind the next question. So if we extrapolate this out, so we've seen lots of people jogging along where do they jog? I guess they jog along the roads, right? Right. And so they are increasing the amount of toxins over normal respiration. When we come back, would you share with us what your thoughts are comparing those who are jogging versus those who are not jogging, and are we doing more damage to our lungs and circulatory system by the toxins we're breathing jogging in the city? Dr. Norman Shealy, and I'll be right back. Class who wants to pay less taxes and enjoy the same tax deductions that the rich take. At the Get Prepared Expo, I'll show you how. This is something I learned 40 years ago. and I'm delighted to teach you. What if you lose your job or your company shuts down? The plan is for you to be financially independent by starting your own business. Any business, whatever you like to do. I haven't had a job since the 1980s. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. That's how long it takes to die. At the Get Prepared Expo, we'll have pallets of Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems at the lowest prices in the country. Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems, and we'll have the lowest prices in the country on top of the line Mountain House freeze-dried food with a 35-year shelf life. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th at the Get Prepared Expo. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. The financial collapse of the United States is a mathematical certainty. There's no doubt about it. U.S. Air Force Captain and author John Regan will explain why this will happen and what you need to do about it right now. We're not trying to scare you, but the collapse is coming. This and 150 seminars and exhibits are included in your pass. $8 online and $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28 and 29 at the Get Prepared Expo, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. Ladies, for $450, you can buy a brand new AR-15 rifle kit at the Get Prepared Expo. Because this AR-15 is a kit, there's no paperwork and no registrations required. It's totally private and all 100% legal. AR-15 kits and seminars on how to assemble them. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. AR-15 kits, $450 at the GetPreparedExpo.com. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. How many?
A little over a year ago, I began to do a lot of research into why, even if I had a pretty good-sized meal, that I was still starving. And my research led me to a well-known fact that most of the soils that we grow our crops on here in the United States and across the industrialized world are almost completely depleted of almost all of the key minerals and trace elements that our bodies need to rebuild themselves, fight off cancer, and be healthy. I then searched out the best vitamin and mineral company out there and discovered Youngevity. The Youngevity products are designed to give you the real nutrition you need, and once you've got that, you don't have to eat as much to be satisfied. I've lost 37 pounds in 2 months, simply getting the vitamins and minerals I need. Check it out for yourself. It's incredible. Go to InfoWarsTeam.com today and order your first canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine Complete Multivitamin Mineral Complex Dietary Supplement. That's InfoWarsTeam.com.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Here is what one doctor has to say about Extendovite.
I would like to thank you, Don, for making my job so much easier, because your products just make it so simple, right? To fool around with a lot of exotic things that don't work, we can just put them on your product and things start to work almost right away. I've had dozens of patients with heart problems who have corrected them, and what it's doing, there's so much garlic in there that has a yeast-killing effect. The yeast is a big problem in the gut, pushes the liver hard. It also has metal chelating effect, and most of the other herbs in there I find that strengthen the arteries. They help to neutralize free radicals. Your remedy close to what we do in our program as you can get as far as one supplement goes. It's working on the gut, it's working on the liver, it's working on the arteries. What more can you ask for?
To get your Extendovite, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, and class, if you'd like to meet Dr. Shealy, you certainly may. He'll be at the Get Prepared Expo. That's the last weekend in March, coming up in a couple of weeks. So if you'd like to get your tickets, you can go to getpreparedexpo.com, getpreparedexpo.com, or usaprepares.com, and you can click on the tab that will let you buy your tickets. It's $8 a day online, $10 a day at the door, $15 for the weekend pass. If you'd like to spend a day on Friday, the day before the expo really starts, with Dr. Richard Allen Miller and Matt Stein in their seminar about game over events, you can do that. Now, that's a special all-day seminar. Note-taking materials are provided, and you'll be with Matt Stein and Dr. Richard Allen Miller for the entire day. That's Friday, the 27th of March. Information's on the website. Game over events. Pretty serious stuff. And if you want to know what these game over events are and how you can prepare to survive them, that's the seminar for you. It's $85. And tickets are on the website. Tickets for the main expo are $8 a day online, $10 at the door, $15 online for the weekend. And if you'd like to have a banquet meal with us, if you'd like to see if you can get a seat at Dr. Shealy's table, $10.80 for our banquet meals. There's a Friday night banquet meal, Saturday night, and Sunday for lunch. Each $10.80. And there's limited seating. So if you'd like to do that, I suggest you get your tickets soon. And wouldn't that be fun to have dinner or lunch with Dr. Norman Shealy? Dr. Shealy, would that be fun or what?
Well, we'd probably laugh a bit.
and you know, I can just see it. You'll have at your table, the instructors will each have a table, and Dr. Shealy will be at his table. And let's say he and one of his assistants will be there. So that's 8 seats. Dr. Shealy will take one. His assistant will take another. That leaves 6 seats. So if you'd like to join Dr. Shealy and ask him questions about blood pressure, Kyani Nitro Extreme, Bliss Oils, what he has said is his greatest invention, his greatest medical invention, the same oils that we at the Finelli family use. You'll be able to do that and have a more intimate setting for several hours with Dr. Norman Shealy. So if you'd like to do that, I suggest you seriously consider going to the Get Prepared Expo website and buying your tickets, because they are limited. And if you think about it, we have driven the cost down to the absolute minimum, $10.80 for a banquet meal. I mean, a real banquet meal for $10.80. So I thought those things sold for a couple $100 a piece, Dr. Shealy.
Well, I mean, of course, you could pay $25,000 some places, we know.
Well, I mean, if you want to go sit with a golfer, you mean, right?
Right.
Or vacationer.
You mean the narcissistic, psychopathic Muslim?
Dr. Shealy, did you hear about the commercial that I did not do for the Get Prepared Expo? Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Okay. Well, it goes something like this. Now, it's in my voice. And I got some static here at the farm about this one. So, I was having fun. We have no sponsors, so I could do whatever I want, right? I'm not going to offend anybody who's sponsoring the show. So I have total freedom. And so I said something like this. Are you the only one in your family who thinks that to get a job in Washington, you have to be a natural-born belligerent thug, liar, cheat, thief, and sociopath? One who neglects his family and his spouse for his personal ego and pleasure? Well, you're not alone. There'll be thousands of people just like you at the Get Prepared Expo.
Y'all come.
So that's a commercial that we did not air. So you just heard it. We'll be right back.
Attention listeners, SurvivalLife.com is giving away free EverStrike permanent matches for a limited time only. These matches are waterproof and will light in any weather condition, rain, snow, or sleet, it will still throw a spark. Its built-in ferro rod strikes at 3,000 degrees, and it is good for 15,000 strikes. Normally, $15. Today, it's free. Get yours at freesurvivalmatch.com. That's freesurvivalmatch.com. Hurry, supplies are limited. Visit freesurvivalmatch.com today.
We love that you're passionate about GCN. And whether you're a listener, a business owner, or a radio industry professional, we've redesigned the new GCN newsletter to keep you in the know. Get updates on your favorite GCN shows and hosts. Go to GCNlive.com and click on the banner in the upper left corner. Just for signing up, you're automatically entered for monthly giveaways. Start receiving your newsletter today. The future of talk radio. GCN.
Did you know that drinking pure, high alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked, blissed. Here we go. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com with Dr. Norm Shealy, medical doctor, surgeon of the year, Native American medicine man, broadcaster, farmer, author, inventor, patent holder, doctor, and my friend, Dr. Norm Shealy. You know, we were talking about water pollution. We were talking about groundwater pollution. We were talking, well, at the top of the hour news, they just announced that Duke Energy was fined $25 million for groundwater pollution through the coal pits that they have, these coal dumps. Well, they got fined $25 million, but nothing has been done to clean up the pollution or stop it. They just got fined. So it's like a money scheme to give the government another $25 million to do whatever they claim that they're doing. But here we have, you know, people who are living in the Carolinas, North Carolina, thinking that their water system is okay, and it's been polluted for years. Now we've been talking about this for years, but here it just made the news just after we talked about it during hour number 1, Dr. Shealy. So those who are going to restaurants in the North Carolina area, those who are buying food manufactured in North Carolina, those who are drinking water from the water system supplied by this contaminated water, you're thinking everything's great, and it's not. Dr. Shealy, your thoughts?
Well, the interesting thing, of course, is, and you know, I'm a Duke graduate, undergraduate in medical school, and very fond of Duke. And it has done some good things. It was founded on the tobacco industry, of course. The original Duke family made their millions in tobacco and left much of it to Duke University. But, of course, Duke Energy is independent of Duke University. And well, let's face it, it's probably no worse than city utilities in Springfield, Missouri. They all suck. I'm being kind today.
Yes. And, you know, there's a lot of concern about the radioactive components of the toxic pollution that comes out of the smokestacks of coal-fired power generation plants. And then, of course, if you've got these toxic materials, what do you do with them? Well, there's been some industry that sprouted up many years ago in the United States, and what they would do is they would use this fly ash from the coal, from the burning of the coal, this white powdery stuff. They would make wallboard out of it, sheetrock. So you could get this industrial waste that no one knows what to do with, that's dangerous, it's toxic, and well, hey, we'll put it inside 2 pieces of cardboard, and we'll call it sheetrock, and we'll build houses with it, and we'll get rid of it that way. Not only will we get rid of it, we'll sell it. These are brilliant schemes. I mean, brilliant schemes to dispose of waste materials, like what we've done with fluoride. We put that in water. We put it in toothpaste. That's how you get rid of it. You spread it around. Everybody gets it. And we do the same thing with sheetrock. So some of our sheetrock is manufactured with fly ash that comes from the coal-fired power generation plants. And here's what they do. They don't truck this stuff to sheetrock manufacturing companies. They build a sheetrock manufacturing company right there at the site of the power plant. So all they do is take the fly ash, comes out of the power generation as a exhaust product, if you will, and that becomes the input to the manufacturing of sheetrock. Dr. Shealy, I don't know what we're thinking. I really don't know what we're thinking, but whatever happened to reduce?
The operant word is thinking. We're not thinking as a society.
We're not. We're not thinking. And whatever happened to reduce our consumption? Dr. Shealy, I was in Springfield, Missouri at an event, and there was a guy there who represented at a booth, and he represented the electric cooperatives in Missouri. And he was like the grand poobah of this. So I said to him, I would love it if your organization would get involved with the Get Prepared Expo and teach people how to reduce their dependence on electricity, reduce their consumption. I said, here's an example. I travel through Missouri and I see these homes with the porch light, the incandescent 100 or 60 watt light bulb right out there on the porch, burning all day long. And it makes no sense to me to leave lights on. I don't leave lights on. I don't leave lights on around the house. If I'm not in that room, that light is not on. Well, but I see other people leaving lights on during the day. It makes no sense. And I said, in some of these homes, I have a feeling that I'm going to end up paying their electric bill anyway, because they are not going to be able to pay them. And then, the rates go up to all of us because they can't pay their electric bills. All right. How about if we teach people not to do that? How about a little bit of education? And this man said to me, we're not in the business of teaching people to use less electricity. That comes right from the electric cooperatives. They are not interested in teaching us how to conserve. So because they are the problem. Right. They are the problem. These guys are in the business of getting us to use electricity and of course pay the money, right? But it's our planet. We're stuck here. It's incumbent upon all of us to reduce, reuse, and recycle. I mean, there's no other choice that I can think of other than death by ourselves. It's insanity. Dr. Shealy, did you ever meet a guy by the name of J.B. Fuqua of Duke University?
No.
He's a benefactor there.
My time.
Yeah. He's a benefactor there, and they've got, he's part of their Masters in Business Administration system there, and he's donated some money. And the reason I mention him is he's a pretty famous guy down there, and he hired me to be a consultant for one of his enterprises, and so he's well known. That's why I mentioned that name. Okay, Dr. Shealy, I'm thinking about one of our buddies, Steve Angle. Steve Angle is a man who lives in Hays, Kansas. Doorbell rings at 12:30 at night. He looks out the window. The police are there. He opens the door, and he has his .45 automatic in his left hand, holding it by the muzzle. The police see him, put a gun in his face, tell him to drop the gun. He stands there, and they beat him up. Ends up in the hospital. Spends 3 days in jail. Now he's facing charges of assault on 2 police officers with a deadly weapon. They showed up at his house claiming that someone called 911. They demanded to come in. They beat him up, and no one called 911 from his house. So here's the situation. we have the police now claiming that a 911 call is placed, and then they demand access to your house. And imagine that. Imagine any of us, the cops show up and they go, all right, we're coming in. Why? 911. We got a 911 call. No, you didn't. Yeah, we did. And we're coming in. So I talked to him last night. He's still in the hospital. He had some emergency surgery. He was medevaced, airlifted, for emergency surgery to save his life. And, this may or may not be a result of him being beaten by the cops. Well, Dr. Shealy, I don't think that the police are doing something that they ought to do. Before they select a person as a target and say, all right, you're our target. Now, do you have any medical history we need to know about before we use you for target practice?
Oh, Vince, why I love you. What a wonderful question.
Well, Dr. Shealy, they want to put me on camera here, and it wouldn't be a good thing.
Right.
I stomp around. I'd be in and out of focus. I mean, banging on the desk. It wouldn't be a good thing. And that's because I think about these things. Like, who are these cops to just shoot first and say, uh-oh, after? I mean, who are these guys? There's a story of a woman and her husband. It's on the website, USA Prepares. And they're having a domestic problem. They have a young child. So they decide, okay, we'll separate. She will take the young child. He is going to stay behind. So she's leaving. And just to keep everybody safe, a cop shows up. Okay. Cop shows up and there's some loud voices. Everything's cool. Nobody's, killing anybody. Cop shows up. Their dog sees or hears the cop, comes out, barks. Cop goes to shoot the dog, misses, and kills the woman. How does that happen? So now a barking dog is a threat? So he misses the dog. Now, why is he shooting at the dog anyway? A lunging dog might be a little bit different from a barking dog. So the dog's barking. The cop goes to shoot the dog, misses, hits the woman, kills her. And the cop is not prosecuted, arrested, removed from his position. We have domestic terrorists walking around in uniforms.
We hear almost daily on the media about cops killing black people. But I wonder how many non-black people are killed every year by cops.
Well, I have a problem with this open season on black people, white people, anybody by the police. It seems like it literally, I'm not kidding. It seems to me like it's open season. And I was talking to Steve Angle about this. I should probably not say this on the air, but I don't know better. So I'll say it. He and I were talking about what's it going to take to stop these police from bashing our doors down. And I'll tell you what we talked about last night off the air. I'm talking about Steve Angle and me off the air. We're just the two of us on a phone call. I just needed to see how he was doing. But I'll tell you what we said when we come back. Dr. Norman Shealy, and I'll be right back. Class, we want to pay less taxes and enjoy the same tax deductions that the rich take. At the Get Prepared Expo, I'll show you how. This is something I learned 40 years ago, and I'm delighted to teach you. What if you lose your job or your company shuts down? The plan is for you to be financially independent by starting your own business. Any business, whatever you like to do. I haven't had a job since the 1980s. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. That's how long it takes to die. At the Get Prepared Expo, we'll have pallets of Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems at the lowest prices in the country. Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems, and will have the lowest prices in the country on top-of-the-line Mountain House freeze-dried food with a 35-year shelf life. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th at the Get Prepared Expo, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. The financial collapse of the United States is a mathematical certainty. There's no doubt about it. U.S. Air Force Captain and author John Regan will explain why this will happen and what you need to do about it right now. We're not trying to scare you, but the collapse is coming. This and 150 seminars and exhibits are included in your pass. $8 online and $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28 and 29 at the Get Prepared Expo, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. Ladies, for $450, you can buy a brand new AR-15 rifle kit at the Get Prepared Expo. Because this AR-15 is a kit, there's no paperwork and no registrations required. It's totally private and all 100% legal. AR-15 kits and seminars on how to assemble them. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. AR-15 kits, $450 at the GetPreparedExpo.com. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. How many?
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Most people know that drinking pure high alkaline pH water is the most important factor in maintaining high energy and vibrant health. Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops combine a unique formula of the most alkaline minerals. Using plasma pH drops is the best way to make your water alkaline to help you get rid of acid and regain your health and energy. Simply put 10 drops in the water you drink to raise the pH to a healthy level. Alkalizing water helps your body rid itself of acidic waste and increases the oxygen content of your body. Disease organisms like bacteria, viruses, and cancer cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops now by going directly to alkavision.com. That's ALKA Vision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776 today.
So Steve Engel is a USA Prepares historian. He comes to the expos. He comes to the meetups. He's been involved with the CSPOA and Sheriff Richard Mack, takes lots of pictures. He's a good guy. And so he's in the hospital right now. And he was beat up by the cops. I don't know if this emergency surgery was related to him being beaten by the cops. But so what happened was that his doorbell rang at 12:30 on a Friday night, and he looks out and he sees the cops, and he had his gun in his hand, and he transfers it from his right hand to his left hand. He's holding it by the muzzle, pointing straight up. He opens the door. Cops put a gun in his face, tell him to drop his gun. He freezes, doesn't move, and they beat him up, throw him down right in his own house. Okay, now I was talking to Steve Engel last night on the phone, and I said, so Steve, what about not answering the door? You know, so you don't answer the door. So what happens? Well, doorbell rings, bang, bang, bang on the door. Hey, open up. It's the cops. And so you don't do anything, and bang, bang, bang. What's the likelihood that they're not going to bash the door down? Most of us would think that's zero, right? They claim that they got a 911 call. So, doesn't that make sense, Dr. Shealy? They'll just bash the door down?
Well, if I were a cop, I would expect they would break down the door if they're going to be that nasty.
Yeah. Okay. So then, now what? Now what? So now these guys, bash down the door. may throw a flashbang grenade in. I mean, they've done that. They've had a flashbang grenade land in a child's crib and explodes and, burns the child. So, who would expect that they wouldn't do that? The point is, when these guys come in, if you don't let them in, it's not good. If you do let them in, it's not good. And they are so ready to shoot. They've got their guns drawn already. They are looking for a fight. They're looking for a dog to shoot. They're looking for a person to shoot. And it's out of control. And he said, the thing that might stop this is they get shot. Now the door gets bashed down. Someone says, man, somebody's coming through the door. Boom, boom, boom. And the shots come from inside the house toward the door first. When that starts happening, maybe these cops are going to say, are you kidding? I'm not going in there. You know what happened on L Street or Fifth Avenue? There was a guy that, a couple cops rang the doorbell, bashed the door down, and they got shot. Okay. So I hate to see all this, but just by natural progression of things, this is going to happen. I'm not asking for it to happen. I don't want it to happen. It doesn't make any sense for any of this to happen, but we can't allow people to be trained to beat us up thinking that we might be a bad guy without proof. So I guess here's my medical question for Dr. Shealy. Are we becoming more hostile as a people? Do you think that we can stop this? Are we becoming more hostile? I think we are.
I agree, but with good reason. I mean, there's one thing about being hostile without a reason. There's another. If people are beating up innocent people, I just looked it up. Over 1,000 people killed in the United States last year by cops.
Mm-hmm.
3 of them made the national news.
Right. Now that's killed. Now there are others who have been wounded.
They don't.
There are others who might have lost their hearing through flashbang grenades. There are others who have been tased and have, permanent injuries. And we know someone who's suffering. One of our people, one of our instructors was tased by a cop. That guy's still walking around. He's a domestic terrorist in Sparta, Missouri. And the system protects these guys. These guys seem to be immune from prosecution. They can kill people with impunity. They can tase them with immunity. And we, the people, just say, well, I'll tell you what, let's let this system work it out. Really? Did that work for Obamacare? Does that stop Barry from taking vacations at $3 million a pop? We're out of control. Dr. Shealy, when we come back, can we talk about statins? I know you're passionate about this, and you've been right on the money. You've been right on the money about everything. I can't think of a single thing that Dr. Norman Shealy has said that turned out to be false. Not one. Class, who wants to pay less taxes and enjoy the same tax deductions that the rich take? At the Get Prepared Expo, I'll show you how. This is something I learned 40 years ago, and I'm delighted to teach you. What if you lose your job or your company shuts down? The plan is for you to be financially independent by starting your own business. Any business, whatever you like to do. I haven't had a job since the 1980s. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. That's how long it takes to die. At the Get Prepared Expo, we'll have pallets of Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems at the lowest prices in the country. Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems, and we'll have the lowest prices in the country on top of the line Mountain House freeze-dried food with a 35-year shelf life. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th at the Get Prepared Expo. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. The
If the IRS has garnished your paycheck or seized money from your bank account, you need to get professional tax help now. Fast action is required to put a halt to these aggressive IRS collection tactics. You can count on the knowledgeable team of tax professionals at Wall & Associates. With over 30 years of experience, Wall & Associates has settled the tax problems of thousands of taxpayers for a small fraction of what they owed. For a free face-to-face consultation, call 1-800-425-4610 to put a wall between you and the IRS. 1-800-425-4610 or look for us on the web at wallandassociates.net. We solve tax problems. If you hire Wall & Associates today, you'll never have to talk to the IRS again. To stop the levies and seizures today, take action now. Call Wall & Associates at 1-800-425-4610. Wall & Associates. 1-800-425-4610. Based on actual cases, results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services. This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right, that's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
There's a man named Dr. Joel Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor, both a veterinarian and naturopathic physician. Doc asks, why does the United States spend more money on healthcare by far and still rank 50th in health and longevity worldwide? He believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, take charge of their health, and attain optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic prescription drugs that lead to side effects and more toxic prescription drugs. Doc Wallach's message is resonating with an increasing number of Americans who are waking up to all the big government, big pharma, and big insurance manipulation of our healthcare system. I'm George Norrie, and I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about health care. Visit brightsideben.com and listen to Doc Wallach's Deadly Recipes lecture. It makes a lot of sense, and I urge you to join the Brightside Ben team. Go to brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com.
The freeze-dry guy, leader in the preparedness industry for 44 years, is closing his California warehouse. Don't miss out on this huge warehouse sale and receive discounts from 30 to 40% off on the finest Mountain House and Packaway brand freeze-dried and dehydrated foods for long-term food storage or even everyday use. Plus deep discounts on all in-stock survival gear. The Freeze-Dry Guy is offering a wide selection of freeze-dried foods in number 10 cans and even individually packaged entrees. Remember, meats, vegetables, fruits, and long-range patrol rations are the main components for any long-term food storage. This is limited to stock on hand, so hurry and call 866-404-3663 or 530-798-4414. Remember, as always, free shipping to the lower 48 states. So hurry up and call 866-404-3663 or 530-798-4414. Remember, this is limited to stock on hand. The Freeze-Dry Guy is your choice for survival food in an uncertain world.
Class Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, and if you'd like to get a free copy of his newsletter, and we're going to talk about statins in just a minute, his latest update, normshealy.com, NORMSHEALY.com. Norm as in Norman, Shealy, SHEALY.com. And you can buy Bliss, you can buy his books, and you can research his archives, his optimal health suggestions and recommendations and advice and counsel. It's all right there. And that's normshealy.com. Dr. Shealy, before we get to the statins, we've got Jack in Missouri. Jack, welcome.
Hello, Michael. How are you today?
We're great. How about you?
Oh, pretty good. Before I get to my main question, I'd just like to make a comment on the police. I used to be a police officer. And when you invite the police in your house, then that gives them the right to do just pretty well whatever they want. So if you open the door, keep them on the porch.
Yeah, by the way, that's what Steve Angle tried to do. Steve Angle just opened the door and didn't want them to come in, but Steve Angle had a gun in his hand. He was holding it by the muzzle. He was pointing it up with his left hand, and they just beat him up, and he ended up in the hospital in his own house. So, Jack, you're suggesting don't open the door. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, talk to them through the door. When you invite them in, they can pretty well do whatever they want. That's
okay.
You're inviting them.
Okay, so Jack, what if they say, listen, we got a 911 call and we need to investigate?
Just tell them there was no 911 call here. You need to check your records. You got the wrong house.
Yeah, and of course their answer is going to be, well, we have to investigate. That's why we're here. We got a 911 call. We think there's something really bad going on in this house, and you might even be the guy causing it. So we want to come in.
Yeah,
now
well, that's up to your discretion. Where I live here in Southeast Missouri, the police doesn't do that because they know what they'll get if they bust the door down.
Yeah, and I think that's what you're talking about is what Steve Angle was talking about, when people just say, well, you just can't break the door down. You just can't do it. And
right.
If you bash the door down, we think you're going to come in to kill us, so we're going to defend ourselves. I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yep. Jack, do you have a question for Norm Shealy?
Yes. As you know, I'm a veteran. And I received something from the VA that I think all veterans should know, and I would like Dr. Shealy's opinion on it. It's called a Million Veteran Program, a partnership with veterans, and it's a survey. It says Million Veteran Program, a research program to improve health care for veterans and their families. This national program will study how genes, lifestyle, and military exposures to health and illness. And I won't read all of it, but it's a very lengthy survey. They want you to come in and give a blood sample. And it says it'll be anonymous, but then it says they'll track your health history, I guess, till you die. I'm not going to fill this out. But I would like Dr. Shealy's opinion on what good this would do. Because, the government has said veterans are their number one threat. And I was just wondering about the genes. They could possibly be wanting to make a bioweapon or something.
Well, my problem is, if it has anything to do with the government, I don't trust it.
Correct.
I mean, that's the basic problem. I wouldn't trust them to tell me where the sun's shining. And therefore, I hate to say it, but I probably would not voluntarily agree to participate just because I don't know what they're going to do with me or the results.
Yeah, it's pretty evasive. The questionnaire wants to know if you have any weapons, if you take SSRI drugs. They want
I think put in their damn business if you're taking Viagra. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just that is very invasive of your privacy.
Right.
But all of it is.
They want to know your how many brothers and sisters you have, what color eyes you got, what color hair you got. Mainly, I would just like to warn all the veterans, don't fill this survey out. Don't cooperate with them.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just do not trust the government.
Great. Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much, Dr. Shealy.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. Dr. Shealy, I can hear the concern in his voice. He's been on the air with us, and he's one of our instructors. His name is Jack, and he's from Missouri, and he's disabled. He has seen what happens in boot camp, and he was talking about 4 people who died during boot camp.
Yeah.
One was beaten. One of the drill sergeant types made it a habit of bringing one of the new guys into the bathroom every day, and each one of these guys would get sucker punched. And one guy knocked the wind out of him. He fell over backwards, hit his head on the toilet, the porcelain toilet, and died. 2 others wanted to escape boot camp, and they were in this camp that had concertina wire around it, or barbed wire, and there was an air landing strip adjacent to where they were housed. And 2 of the guys decided to escape. They couldn't take it anymore, and they climbed the fence, and they got run over by jets. They died, and 2 of them died that way, and I don't remember how the 3rd one died. But, some horrific stresses are put on these young people, and some of them snap.
Well, I said what I have to say. I wouldn't trust the federal government. And you know something, by the way, Vince? The Missouri state government's getting almost as bad as the federal government. Have you noticed that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no question about it.
My attorney applied for our new clinic, as a business at the end of December. About 10 days ago, we got a rejection for one thing they said was missing, which was it was all prepared by an attorney. So here we are, 2.5 months past applying just to be allowed to be a business in the state of Missouri. I gotta say, I think the Missouri state used to be pretty good, but I right now put it right up there on a scale of 0 to 10 at about a 9. And the federal government's 10. Bad.
Yep. You're absolutely right. I like where we live in Wright County because they don't have as much enforcement here. The police don't show up, and it's still the Wild West where we live, but it's coming. It really is coming, and that's what the Get Prepared Expo is all about: to build community, to get us to work together and support each other, and literally build commerce, build trade, build support for one another, helping other farmers, helping, if the farmer next to you needs a hand, it's incumbent upon you to do that, to help them. And you may need a hand, but without compensation, without your hand out saying, listen, you owe me. I helped you with that fence. None of that goes on where we are. People are just delighted to help each other. They really are. I mean, there are a few that are egocentric, and there are a few that are self-centered. But for the most part, the farmers here realize that we're all in this together and want to help each other. However, they're being suckered into these government programs. They're being suckered into letting 75% of the cost of fencing be paid by the government so that they can have a more cost-effective, if you will, cattle operation. And yet now they've signed up for a government inspection of their farm 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 10 years. And the government is really not interested in helping you raise cows. The government really is interested in control and access to your property, which they have no access to our farm because we told the cops, we said, don't come here. You're trespassing. Don't come on our property. We put them on notice. And by the way, we're going to have a seminar. Chief Cloud Piler is going to be consecrating the Get Prepared Expo as Native American sacred ground, which puts our convention, the Get Prepared Expo, off limits to the government. They cannot come on our grounds while we are in sacred ceremony for the duration of the Get Prepared Expo. And we did it before, and not one government minion showed up. Not one. Not one canine dog, not one cop, not one uniformed anybody, not even plain clothes, because they're put on notice that they are individually responsible for their own actions if they come on our grounds. And no government minion I know of wants to be immune from prosecution. Not one. They're weak. They're minions. They're hired guns. They're mercenaries. And they don't come to the Get Prepared Expo because we put them on notice. I'm serious about this. You know, when I look at some of our instructors who have been in prison for 15 years for murder and rape, and they didn't do it, that bothers me. When I look at Steve Angle, who's beat up in the threshold of his own home by the cops, that bothers me. When I look at Mike Parsons, who's in prison today for running for office, winning, going to clean up Tipton County, Tennessee, and he's in prison on trumped-up charges. It makes me angry. I don't want these guys at the Get Prepared Expo. I'm telling you guys, don't come to the Get Prepared Expo. Government employees are not welcome. If you're on duty, you're not welcome. Go bother somebody else. We'll be right back. Class who wants to pay less taxes and enjoy the same tax deductions that the rich take. At the Get Prepared Expo, I'll show you how. This is something I learned 40 years ago, and I'm delighted to teach you. What if you lose your job or your company shuts down? The plan is for you to be financially independent by starting your own business. Any business, whatever you like to do. I haven't had a job since the 1980s. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. That's how long it takes to die. At the Get Prepared Expo, we'll have pallets of Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems at the lowest prices in the country. Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems, and we'll have the lowest prices in the country on top of the line Mountain House freeze-dried food with a 35-year shelf life. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th at the Get Prepared Expo. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. The financial collapse of the United States is a mathematical certainty. There's no doubt about it. U.S. Air Force Captain and author John Regan will explain why this will happen and what you need to do about it right now. We're not trying to scare you, but the collapse is coming. This and 150 seminars and exhibits are included in your pass. $8 online and $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28 and 29 at the Get Prepared Expo, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. Ladies, for $450, you can buy a brand new AR-15 rifle kit at the Get Prepared Expo. Because this AR-15 is a kit, there's no paperwork and no registrations required. It's totally private and all 100% legal. AR-15 kits and seminars on how to assemble them. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. AR-15 kits, $450 at the GetPreparedExpo.com. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. How many?
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit GoBerkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products, most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey guy.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Here is what one doctor has to say about Extendovite.
I would like to thank you, Don, for making my job so much easier, because your products just make it so simple, right? To fool around with a lot of exotic things that don't work, we can just put them onto your product and things start to work almost right away. I've had dozens of patients with heart problems who have corrected them, and what it's doing, there's so much garlic in there that has a yeast-killing effect. The yeast is a big problem in the gut, pushes the liver hard. It also has metal chelating effect, and most of the other herbs in there I find that strengthen the arteries. They help to neutralize free radicals. Your remedy as close to what we do in our program as you can get as far as one supplement goes. It's working on the gut, it's working on the liver, it's working on the arteries. What more can you ask for?
To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
You pick up the receiver with your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead. You finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then...
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota.
Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason! Jason!
Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the host you're listening to right now, online at gcnlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with the host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at gcnlive.com.
Class, a quick news update. 46 million people receive food stamp benefits. 46 million. This has been going on for 40 months. 40 straight months. That's roughly 1 out of 6 of us is receiving food stamp benefits. I received it just appeared on my PC. Strayer University. Okay. It says most MBA programs study great leaders. Ours is led by one. Then there's this pen and ink drawing of Jack Welch, former CEO of General Electric. Okay. Well, there are 31 nuclear power plants, Mark I and Mark II, General Electric boiling water reactor units in the United States. 31 of them. Just like the kind that failed in Fukushima. So I get this commercial about Jack Welch, and I can learn how to be a leader like him and be part of a company that is polluting the entire planet with nuclear reactors, just like the ones that failed in Fukushima. I object to this stuff. Dr. Shealy, statin drugs. You have a post. I reposted it. I posted it, your newsletter, this morning on USA Prepares. You've been right about statin drugs, and now mainstream press is agreeing with you. It took them a long time, but they're agreeing. Tell us why it's so dangerous, please.
Well, among other things, let's start at this. First, second, and third, they do not prevent heart disease. They do lower cholesterol, but they do not prevent heart disease. That's the only reason for giving them. Number two, they increase the risk of diabetes mellitus by 46%. That seriously increases the risk of stroke, hypertension, peripheral neuropathy, heart disease, etc. So in almost half of people, not only do they not prevent heart disease, they strikingly increase the risk of heart disease. Next, they damage muscle, including heart muscle, brain, kidney, pancreas, the immune system, peripheral muscles, peripheral nerves. But other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, they're not too bad.
Dr. Shealy, you said you wouldn't take a statin drug for $1 trillion, right? I mean, just to keep up with inflation, it went from $1 billion to $1 trillion. That's a pretty strong statement. If we are on statin drugs,
$250 billion.
That's to keep up with hyperinflation. Dr. Shealy, what do we do to get off them? How do you, or do you recommend that we don't get off them?
Well, no, I do recommend people get off them. I think number 1, 2, and 3, immediately start taking CoQ10, at least 200 milligrams a day if you're on a statin drug, because it can protect you from some of the harmful effects. Number 2, immediately start on lecithin granules, 2 heaping tablespoons twice a day. Number 3, immediately add beta-sitosterol, sitosterol, 400 milligrams with each meal, and start weaning yourself over a period of a couple of weeks. Wait a month, recheck your cholesterol, and if it's not perfect, then add lecithin granules, 2 heaping tablespoons twice a day, and trimethylglycine, trimethylglycine, at least 3,000 milligrams a day. These are the best ways to control your cholesterol, and they're all safe.
Okay. Dr. Shealy, for those who would like to discuss this with you at the Get Prepared Expo, will you share this information during your seminars?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So, class, if you've got some questions, medical questions, and you've got high blood pressure, and you want to get off your statin drugs, Dr. Shealy will spend some time with you. He's going to be with us for the weekend. Friday night, banquet meal. Saturday night, banquet meal. All day Saturday, seminars, all bundled into your ticket. The seminars are all included, and the exhibits, $8 online, $10 a day at the door. And then if you want to have dinner with us, that's $10.80. GetPreparedExpo.com. Dr. Shealy, thanks so much for being with us, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the expo.
Attention listeners, SurvivalLife.com is giving away free EverStrike permanent matches for a limited time only. These matches are waterproof and will light in any weather condition, rain, snow, or sleet. It will still throw a spark. Its built-in ferro rod strikes at 3,000 degrees, and it is good for 15,000 strikes. Normally, $15. Today, it's free. Get yours at freesurvivalmatch.com. That's freesurvivalmatch.com. Hurry, supplies are limited. Visit freesurvivalmatch.com today.
It's happening again. The feds are trying to ban your freedom to own body armor. In January, a newly introduced bill, H.R. 378, will take away your right to buy Level 3 and higher body armor. Katie Armor offers the most affordable Level 3 body armor packages on the market today. Protect yourself. Buy your body armor now before it's too late. Go to katiearmor.com. That's CATIarmor.com. Come and take it.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.